Have you ever bought a new iPhone thinking it would last all day, only to find yourself hunting for a charger by 3 p.m.? Well, Apple might finally be solving that problem. Every year we hear the same thing: this next iPhone will be the big one. And most of the time it is just a small upgrade, a new color, or maybe a faster processor. But this time, Apple might actually be changing two things people have been asking for years: 40 hours. That is the battery life Apple is rumored to be targeting with the upcoming iPhone 18 Pro Max. If the latest leaks are accurate, this could become the longest-lasting iPhone ever released, and that not even the most interesting part. Today, I am going to break down everything we know about the iPhone 18 Pro Max, from the massive battery improvements to a surprising design choice that breaks a rule Apple has followed for almost a decade. Let's start with the battery, because this is where things get really exciting. According to new supply chain reports, Apple is preparing one of the biggest battery upgrades in years. Most people expect the camera to be the headline feature of the iPhone 18 Pro Max, but that might not be the real story. The biggest change could actually be happening inside the phone. Leaks suggest the iPhone 18 Pro Max may run on Apple's first 2nm A20 Pro chip. This processor is designed to significantly improve efficiency. And that single upgrade could completely transform iPhone 18 Pro Max battery life. But the chip isn't even the most interesting part of these leaks. According to multiple insiders, the iPhone 18 Pro Max battery capacity could land somewhere between 5,100 and 5,200 mAh. For comparison, the current Pro Max generation sits around 5,088 mAh. On paper, that difference sounds small. But capacity alone doesn't tell the full story of iPhone 18 Pro Max battery performance. The real leap could come from the processor. The upcoming A20 Pro chip is rumored to be built using a cutting-edge 2nm manufacturing process. This would make it significantly more efficient than the previous generation. In simple terms, smaller nanometer chips use less power while delivering more performance. Analysts believe the A20 Pro chip could improve power efficiency by as much as 30%. That means the iPhone 18 Pro Max would not just have more battery capacity. It would use that energy far more efficiently. And the improvements do not stop there. Another key factor in the iPhone 18 Pro Max battery life could be the display. The device is expected to feature a 6.9-inch LTPO OLED panel with a more advanced adaptive refresh rate system. This allows the display to drop all the way down to 1 Hz when you are reading or viewing static content. This significantly reduces power consumption throughout the day. But there's another hidden upgrade many people are overlooking: the modem. Leaks suggest Apple could introduce a new in-house C2 modem with the iPhone 18 Pro Max. One of the biggest hidden battery drains in modern smartphones happens when devices constantly search for weak 5G signals. Apple's custom modem is reportedly designed to reduce that power loss. This could significantly improve real-world battery endurance. When you combine a larger battery, the ultra-efficient A20 Pro chip, the improved LTPO display, and a new Apple modem, the results could be massive. Some estimates suggest the iPhone 18 Pro Max battery life could exceed 40 hours of video playback. If that number holds true, Apple could set a new benchmark for flagship smartphone endurance. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you. The latest iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks also point to a bold product red finish right from day one. And if that actually happens, it would break a rule Apple has quietly followed for almost a decade. Because historically, red iPhones have always been reserved for the non-Pro models. We saw it on the iPhone 7, later on the iPhone XR, and more recently on standard models like the iPhone 14. The Pro lineup has always played things safe. Space gray, silver, gold, or sometimes a slightly adventurous color like midnight green or deep purple, but still very subtle. Apple's philosophy with the Pro line was always clear. These phones are supposed to look serious, professional, and understated. But last year, something interesting happened. The iPhone 17 Pro Max introduced that cosmic orange finish. It was brighter, more noticeable, and honestly, way less safe than Apple usually goes with Pro devices. At first, it seemed like a one-off experiment. But if the leaks are accurate, it looks like Apple was testing the waters, and the response apparently told them something important. People actually liked the idea of a Pro iPhone that did not blend into the background. So now reports from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman suggest Apple is leaning fully into that idea. Instead of muted tones, the iPhone 18 Pro Max could launch with a deep red color as one of its main headline finishes. Not months later, not as a mid-cycle refresh, but right from launch day. If that happens, it sends a pretty clear message. Pro doesn't have to mean boring anymore. There is a small twist, though. The cosmic orange from last year might be disappearing completely. Leaks suggest Apple could retire it to make room for this new red option, which, if you know Apple, is very on brand. Limited colors create demand, and demand creates hype. Now, if you were hoping for a completely new iPhone design, this is where things might feel a little less exciting. Most analysts believe the iPhone 18 Pro Max will look almost identical to the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Same titanium frame, same overall shape, and likely very similar dimensions. So from the outside, it might feel like nothing has changed. But when Apple keeps the outside familiar, that usually means the real upgrades are happening somewhere else. And in this case, that somewhere else is the camera. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is rumored to introduce something we've never seen on an iPhone before: a variable aperture main camera. Right now, every iPhone camera uses a fixed aperture lens. That basically means the lens opening stays the same size all the time. It works well in low light, but it also means the camera doesn't have the flexibility that dedicated cameras do. A variable aperture changes that. Instead of the lens staying wide open constantly, the camera could physically adjust the size of the opening depending on the situation. And this isn't just some technical specification that sounds good on paper. It actually changes how photos look. For one, it creates real natural background blur. Not the software blur we see in portrait mode, but actual optical depth like you'd get from a traditional camera lens. It also helps in bright environments where too much light can ruin a shot. By tightening the aperture, the camera can control exposure much more precisely. And for video, this opens the door to a much more cinematic look. Better control over depth, lighting, and overall image style. It's the kind of feature photographers have relied on for years, finally making its way into the iPhone. So for the first time, the iPhone wouldn't just be simulating professional camera behavior with software tricks. It would actually be doing it physically with hardware. The latest iPhone 18 Pro Max leaks also point to a refined design with a 37% smaller dynamic island. That's a pretty significant reduction in that black pill-shaped area at the top of the screen. For users in the United States, this kind of battery life could finally mean getting through long workdays, travel, and heavy content creation without worrying about charging. But globally, the impact could be even bigger. In many international markets where charging access during the day isn't always guaranteed, a true 2-day smartphone could completely change how people use their devices. Of course, powering all of this is the next generation processor. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to run on the A20 Pro. Built using an advanced 2nm process, that smaller process means better efficiency and more performance at the same time. But the bigger focus here isn't just raw speed, it is AI. Apple is pushing more on-device intelligence than ever before. Things like advanced photo processing, complex video editing, and real-time AI features that previously needed cloud servers. With the A20 Pro, the idea is that your phone can handle those workloads instantly without relying on external processing. In other words, the iPhone is slowly becoming less like a smartphone and more like a pocket computer that also happens to make calls. So even though the iPhone 18 Pro Max might not look dramatically different, the upgrades happening under the hood could be some of the biggest we've seen in years. A bold new Pro color, a mechanical camera system, and one of the most advanced mobile processors Apple has ever made. The real question, though, is whether that is enough to convince people to upgrade. Because by the time this phone launches, we will also be hearing a lot more about Apple's first foldable iPhone. So I'm curious what you think. If Apple really launches a red iPhone 18 Pro Max with a variable aperture camera, would that be enough to make you upgrade? Or are you holding out for the foldable instead? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know which feature excites you the most. If you enjoyed staying ahead of the latest leaks and tech stories like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Either way, we are getting closer to the next big iPhone generation, and I will be here to break down every leak and rumor as they come in. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.